Nigeria's youth population has been through the ringer. We effectively have a generation that asks, what's my government done for me? Why should I be patriotic? What is patriotism? Why should I care? We tell them, join politics. Look, you are not too young to run. And the answer, yeah, I'm not too young to run, just not rich enough or devious enough. Besides, I need to make money. And there are easier ways to get rich. Those who do get into the political fray have to ask themselves if serving their nation is worth the hassle. Or maybe just make what I can and take off. It's a serious situation that threatens the future of our country. What platforms are there for them to enter office and change things for the better? Well, my guest says they are the solution, and we'll be finding out how. Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm on Channels Television. I am Kayla Megwa. My guest on the program is Bishop Amakiri, the national chairman of the Young Progressives Party. Yes, a party created for young progressives who want to be in politics. Has it served its purpose, or is this all another waste of time?
Born on the 26th of July, 1983, in Zaria, Kaduna State, Emmanuel Bishop Amakiri attended Kofandoka LEA Primary School, Barewa College, ABU Zaria. He has a BSc in Public Administration from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Founder of Amakson Soccer Academy. He's also the founder and president of the Nigeria Youth Movement for Peace and Empowerment and Transformation, the convener of Redemption Ambassadors of Nigeria, and founder, pioneer, and national chairman of the Young Progressives Party, YPP.
Mr. Amakiri, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you so much, Political Paradigm. Like I said, maybe we'll be talking about leadership paradigm.
Maybe we will. Yeah. Maybe we will.
Yeah,
I want to start off with your party, the Young Progressive. Why did you create this party in the first place?
Well, what informed the creation of this party is actually some like minds, group of like minds that, like I do, decided to come together and see how we can begin a process of, championing a cause of leadership in Nigeria. Leadership that has to do with new breed of politicians and leaders without greed that can champion the cause of leadership in our country.
Has it served that purpose in your view?
Yes, it has. The fact that we have not gotten to our El Dorado where we want to get to does not mean that we are not on track. We have been on track since the inception of this party. Since 2017, the first appearance we had 2019, it was a goal. We scored one goal. And that's to say we had a senator 2019. That was our first experience. And the 2023 again, we broadened the scope further, by producing more parliamentarians. So I would say we're on track for a party that is just merely about 7 or 8 years. And already we are doing what we are doing. Truly, I would say we're on track. But I must say it's not yet, Uhuru.
Because there are some issues that you're dealing with right now in the party, especially in Abia State. But I'm going to get to that in a bit. I still want to be able to get some kind of background into your party. What's the population of young people in your party? Because what we hear from young people all the time is, when we go to those parties, those stuffy old men all over the place, and they don't give us a chance.
No, I don't think.
What's the population of young people?
It depends. What kind of people? Are you talking about in leadership or the membership?
Let's look at both, membership and leadership.
For example, the office of the national chairman that I occupy.
You consider yourself a young person?
Well, I'm a young. I'm not a youth, but I'm a young person.
Okay.
In my early 40s, of course, I should be proud to say I'm a young person. And not only that, if you visit us today in YPP, I tell you, 80% of the people there, the leaders of the party, are young people.
Below 40.
Sure, below 40.
80% of your party?
Not 80% that are below 40. But I see young persons, young minds that are less than 50. I call them young people.
So 80% of your party are below 50?
Oh, yeah, all right, you can see that. In fact, above 80%.
In the leadership positions?
Yes, sure.
So apart from the president,
Which president?
chairman, national chairman of the
Anyway,
party.
you're right.
What other offices are there that are occupied by young people? Because I remember one time your presidential candidate was Kingsley Moghalu.
Yeah.
And at the time, everyone was like, okay, so yeah, somewhat young.
Even the last election, we had Malik Ado Ibrahim. He's in his early 50s.
Okay.
Early 50s.
So yes, back to leadership positions in the party. Apart from you, the national chairman.
The office. Let me. I can wake up even from sleep and tell you, the composition of our great parties, leadership at the national. Myself, the office of the chairman is a young man. The office of the national organizing secretary is a young man. The office of the public secretary is a young man. The office of the women leader is a young person. The office of the youth leader is a young person. The office of the national treasurer, financial secretary. I tell you, virtually almost all the offices. And you see, YPP is the only party today in Nigeria that broadened the scope of political, integration or political, affairs when it comes to the organs of the National Working Committee, or NEC. We created Office of the National Corporate Advisor. We created Office of the National Technical Advisor. All these offices are manned by young people. We created Office of the Government Liaison Advisor. We created Office of the National Sport Advisor of the party. All these offices, even including national security as the advisor of the party, they are all young people manning those offices, And what informed that was that we see political parties should be an organization, an institution that you can say is a semi-government in waiting.
How much is it to get a ticket in your party?
No, it's not about negotiation. In so many cases, we have given people, for example, the last Ondo election, the young man who is our candidate there was given the nomination form for free. So it depends on the circumstance that people come in. What we're trying to do is we want to encourage people, especially young people, to come into politics.
At the time Kingsley Moghalu was running under your party,
Yeah.
how much did he pay for that ticket?
Kingsley Moghalu paid, at that time I think it was 7 million. But
7 million naira?
Yeah, that was what he paid. But the 7 million naira was used...
Your last candidate, how much did he pay?
15.
He paid 15 million.
But the 15 million naira or 7 million naira, that money was used for logistics that can convey the national convention. Because you are talking about bringing people from the 36 states of Nigeria.
I mean, that's one of the challenges with saying you're having a party for young people.
Yeah.
You say, no, everybody come in. But the truth is, everybody cannot afford 7 million. Some people cannot afford, many young people can't afford 100,000.
No, it depends.
You said the candidate in Ondo, you gave him the ticket for free.
Yeah, sure.
There are many people who would expect that, especially young people. You can't be asking young people to bring you money if you want it to be a contest that people participate in.
No, it's not about...
What many young people will do is leave you alone.
No, I disagree with that. You see, there's no free food even in Freetown. And whatever thing, even school that you attend, you go, you pay school, you pay some logistics. So if you're coming into politics and then you want to run for office, there are two things you cannot take away from politics: publicity and mobilization. And if you have to mobilize people, like you just rightly say, some people don't ask. There are some people who want to come to town hall meetings or to rally centers where you call people, to evangelize the ideology of the party to them or whatever. Some of them do not have money that they can fare themselves to the venue, So some of this money that are actually collected from aspirants or candidates are actually meant to run the affairs of the party.
Many political parties are criticized for being money mongers. So it's a way of raising money.
It depends. It depends.
When it comes to your party, are you saying you can do all of this? I mean, you have they had to collect money from people to do things in the party. But you always try to make it look like it's something that everybody can be a part of, but it costs money. Is it possible for you to run this political business without money? Is that something young people should just know? This is going to cost you money.
Let me give you an example. And I wouldn't have used someone like Buhari, to give an example, but it's necessary that I do that. Why? Because if you look at the way in which Buhari came into power when he was running 2015, young people sacrificed, contributed money for him. We all know how. So they can also channel that kind of energy to the same young person. That's what we call crowdfunding. There's nothing wrong with people, galvanizing themselves, talking to themselves, and if they believe in a project, they can spend their money there. So the important thing first is when people nurse an ambition, okay, and they are convinced within themselves that this ambition is what, pursuing. I don't think that there's anything wrong in you investing in that ambition. So, but what we don't do is we do not, we don't make things difficult for our candidates. We don't make things difficult. It's not a cast in stone decision. When people approach us and tell us, look, but one thing we prioritize is competence and pedigree. If you have some pedigree, then the party should, like the young man who is contesting under a party in Ondo State, he has a lot of political pedigree he's bringing on board. He's a former student union government president in his state, and not only that, he has some wealth of experience. He has worked in some other places like that. And when he approached us and introduced to us himself, we also make our findings about who he is. And we look, hey, this young man he fits what we are looking for. After all, the party is talking about new breed of leaders, without greed, that can come and champion the cause of leadership.
Do you think he has any chance of winning?
Of course, sure. Well, there's a power. Power comes from God, even though a lot of people will tell you God, but you need to be prepared. I agree. So the preparation is
Are there campaigns going on for him?
In
Ondo? Yes. From the national, because you are national chairman, are there mobilizations for campaigns and rallies and
things
like that?
We will. When we get
You haven't started yet?
We will. We're already putting our house in order towards that.
What of Edo?
Same young man who is. In fact, if you look at the record, we are the party who have actually produced more young people to run for the election. So we're not really deviating from that ideology. We're not. I'm not saying that every young man actually is fit for the job. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you that we do our due diligence, and among preferably, we will always prefer a young person because that's what we preach. Let the paradigm shift for the younger generation.
So, on that note, how did it feel when you saw the Labour Party movement and seeing young people brand the Labour Party as the party of the youth? Meanwhile, there was a young progressives party. Why didn't the young people gravitate towards you? Instead, they gravitated towards Peter Obi and the Labour Party.
It's a matter of choice. In anything you do in life, choice matters a lot.
So Nigeria's youth chose the Labour Party and not the young progressives party?
For those Nigerian young people, chose Peter Obi, particularly because that's where you had an obedient movement. They were not chanting Labour Party. They were chanting obedient movement. Everybody, almost 70 or 80% of persons that were around the Peter Obi at that particular time, all they were saying was Obi is Obi.
So not the Labour Party.
Not the
was
Labour.
Peter
Yeah, that's what. But you are aware of that.
So why weren't they chanting your presidential
That's why I said
name?
it was just at that particular time. Maybe they felt Peter Obi actually resonates with what he was telling them. Was your candidate
not younger than Peter Obi?
He was younger, but he was actually not reaching out to the people like the way maybe Obi was doing. I'm being pragmatic about this.
Why not? Why wasn't he doing that?
Well, he has his own issues. Maybe he will tell you, he sees himself as maybe, will I say a greenhorn, coming in new. And Obi, as you agree with me, he's been there around the corridors of power. So Obi was once a governor, and Obi kept telling the young people or the masses, go and check my result, my performance. I left a lot of money in Anambra. I do not give shishi. I do not, there were some times there was some message he was sending out to some of these young people. And like I said, he had already built his political pedigree.
So your candidate didn't have that pedigree?
No, he didn't.
So why did you pick him?
Excuse me.
Why did you pick this candidate?
Excuse me. No, not. What I'm saying is, he had Malik Ado Ibrahim on his own. We have did our due diligence and found out that he is very equal to the task if the opportunity is given to him to lead this country. But unfortunately, he has not been around the corridors of power, which is the kind of choice that many Nigerians, would like to tilt towards.
So for 2027...
So that was the difference between Peter Obi and our candidate. A lot of people were seeing Peter Obi as a former governor. So he had a message he was sending out, saying, I was a former governor in Anambra, I left so amount of money. There is no way a Malik Ado could have said so. But was he going to lie to the people that I was a former governor when we all know that he was never a
I'm sensing it falling out. Are you still, is Mr. Malik still in the YPP?
Up till date, by my record, he's still in YPP because he has not tendered any letter of resignation to us as a...
But you see, Malik Ado Ibrahim is in the last election. The election before that, you had Mr. Kingsley Moghalu.
Yeah.
So what happened then? He was young, progressive.
You mean Moghalu?
Yes, he was up against President Buhari, an older man.
It looks like. Anyway, maybe I know you want to throw in some to me some words so that. But I will say you are also a Nigerian, and you know how the system works. What
system is this? What are people talking about? Every time people come and tell me this is how the system works.
No,
do people not voting leaders in Nigeria?
No, the system, we can't shy away from the reality. The reality in this case now is that a lot of people will tell you, the Peter Obi himself even suffered the same thing when they were saying Labour Party do not have structures. Do you understand?
That was the same criticism Mr. Moghalu had to face as well.
So the same thing they said, Moghalu, YPP didn't have structure, or this and that. And, then many down decided it will be between, even before election, the whistle is being blown for election. You will hear a lot of people say, this race is between PDP and APC. That's what you hear a lot of people say. Even some of the journalists will tell you that. I have that experience. I've met a lot of people, journalists, who have said, my brother, off camera, they tell you, this race is between APC and PDP. And you throw the question back to them, why did you say so? But you and I know that the structure, that's the system.
But things started changing a little in the last election. The Labour Party really was that third force, and we saw the NNPP as well.
Yeah.
So what we didn't see was the YPP, and the thing is, the YPP is such a ripe fruit. Let me explain to you, right? Okay. So we have a massive young population. In Nigeria, young people are the majority. Now, if there's a political party that is for them, why isn't it representing them? Why isn't it the party all young people are gravitating towards? What's wrong? Is that something that the party leadership looks at? Is there something going on here that isn't really helping it achieve or key into this massive young people demographic?
There are a lot of impediments. Number one, resources is part of it, because, like I told you earlier, you need to conscientize people. That's what I call political literacy. That you need to do. Go around, talk to people, reawaken their spirit, of that patriotism and integration, political integration. those things you must have some resources that you need to use, because you're talking about, yes, social media is there, but you need to go down to also the grassroots and communicate with them, evangelizing political ideologies into the minds of those people. It's not a child's play. You're going to almost down to 774 local governments in Nigeria. You have to root the movement down to the to the grassroots. So it's cost implication.
So it's finances, I'm hearing from you.
For sure. You and I, of course, but if you look at, can you compare the kind of campaigns you see of the PDPs and the APC with the other of the parties? It's not to say that the other parties do not have the capacity or do not have the mechanisms,
We do have another election coming up in 2027.
We are growing.
What are you doing differently? How are you, this financing issue that you've mentioned now, how are you going to make things different in 2027?
Yeah, we're already putting our thinking cap already, and we are fine-tuning this idea at the same time to see how we can, toe the line of what I would call the crowdfunding mechanism, where we will bring young people. First, before you go into that kind of strategy, you really need to, the people need to have some trust in you. Okay? And you and I know there is a lot of trust deficit today between the electorate and the politicians. And so we want to see how we can begin to, we embark on what I call political marketing. We begin to talk to the people, conscientize them, tell them the need why they must do something different if they also want to see something different, something new, something bold, something real. And in this case, I think both the electorate themselves, they are critical stakeholders in this business of nation building. So I think that they should not sit, on the fence or think that things will just overnight, get well without them contributing. Because I see no reason why even we should be thinking of or saying that some people took money just to vote for somebody. We are still battling with that problem. So that's why I said that political literacy is very, very important. We have to conscientize our people so that they can have positive attitudinal change in electing their leaders in the future. You can't just mortgage your future for 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 or whatever. And when you approach them, many of them you talk to, they say, there is hunger in the land. So you see, it was a deliberate thing. Deliberate thing, self-inflicted thing by the leaders whom have been given responsibility to provide leadership for their people. And that's why most times I like to anchor my conversation when it comes to nation building or solution to our problem. There is these 3 letters I like to use: PED, PED. P stands for prosperity, E stands for education, D stands for development. But unfortunately, that P is on the negative side. We say politics. We don't need, it's not politics actually that we need. We need prosperity. It's not election per se. After all, there are so many countries today that they don't go into election. We have seen Saudi Arabia and other countries that are running monarchy system, but the system is working for them. The citizens are so happy. UAE, some other countries like that. You see, we need to know our peculiarities. We need to know our problems. If the system that we copy from America, for example, that is not working for us, must we be there and continue to wallow in hunger, and then some certain few persons at the expense of the larger majority are getting rich and richer every day.
I'm going to get into that conversation because I've heard you talk about this before, like a Nigerian tailored democracy. But I'll get to that shortly. Sorry to bring you back to the Labour Party. But I'll start off by asking you, how many members of your party are in the House of Representatives at the moment?
We have 3 members.
3 members in the House. How many senators?
We have a member representing Ikono in the Ikono Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom. Then we have the other Newi North and South. House of Rep member, and then Urumba North and South.
Okay, so that's in the House of Representatives.
3 House of Representatives.
None in the Senate?
No, we don't have in the Senate. But I would say it's our member that the APC snatched from us.
Which one is that?
Ifanyuba.
So Ifanyuba used to be.
He used to be, yeah.
So he
and
crossed.
Then we have, he has gone back. They stole him away from us.
They stole him from you? Okay. Another theft that has happened to your party is in Abia State. 2 members of the State Assembly have moved over to the Labour Party. These members of yours that keep leaving the party, at least we've counted 3 in the course of this conversation. What's really going on? Why are they leaving? And do you think they should lose their seats because of that?
Yeah, of course, the Abia State, of course, should be. And we're already on course on that.
The 2 in Abia?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, because the excuses they give for me, it doesn't add up.
There's no division in your party?
There's no division. Some of them, what the excuses they give, they keep saying the governor is not ready to work with them. And I ask the question, is it the governor that voted them in there or their people? Are you serving the governor or you are serving your people? You are there to make law for the betterment of your people, the people of Abia, or particularly to even represent your constituency. So the governor has no any business. The governor must just have to do what he's supposed to do to provide leadership in the state.
How did you find out they were cross-carpeting? That's the 2 in Abia State. How did you find out?
It was read in the floor of the House, the State House of Assembly.
They didn't give you any prior notice. They didn't talk to you.
No, they didn't. They never pre-informed me that they were going to move, and there was no even any later. You see, that is the shenanigan that is happening in this country that we need to correct. How can people just move over to a party? And as we speak up till date, you have not officially written to the party. They
still haven't written to you?
Yes, I've not received.
Did he find by write to you?
Yes.
He wrote?
Yes.
And explained. What was his explanation for leaving?
Oh, well, he has explained. He also explained that he wants to pursue his political greener pasture to APC.
How did that make you feel?
I can't be happy with that kind of decision, of course, you know. But we have moved on as a party.
And then these 2 in Abia.
And then these 2, without any form of decorum. You just wake up one day and you just feel that you should move to another party. And that is why it's important, Kela, we begin to give attention to our laws in this country, where I think I will propose, if you allow me, I'll tell you, we should amend those laws that anyone who leaves a party that sponsor he or her, you know, to that seat of whether parliament or executive, the person shall lose that his seat.
If there's
no look,
because that section of the constitution actually has a
that's why I said it should be corrected. All those excuses are flimsy excuses that somebody can just decide on his own to go and orchestrate and sponsor one little crisis and tell you that's what some politicians are very capable of doing that. So let that amendment be that if you leave, you lose your seat, and the party shall nominate another person that takes over, because it's a mandate of the party. So that party should recommend another person, or should nominate another person that completes the tenure that the party is having. So there's nothing like...
Until you propose it.
There's nothing like, we're going to propose it. We need to meet...
Until you propose it and they accept it and implement it.
No,
the way the law is right now.
That's what I'm saying.
If they're able to prove that there is some division in the party,
yes,
then they would be allowed to cross carpet.
But they cannot prove it because there's no any division. As at the time they took that decision, there was nothing like division in the Young Progressive. We are a peace-loving party. You can ask many of them, all of them. Nobody can say today that the YPP is not a friendly party amongst all of them.
What about the concept of my political career? This place is not able to fund my political career. It won't take me to the heights that I want to go to. It may take me to State House of Assembly, but it's not going to get me to the Senate. They don't have a member in the Senate yet. They don't have a president. No one of their members has ever been president. It's not going to help my career. Why should I still be there?
Are you not an ambition?
I sounded like one, didn't I? But I mean, someone could say that. Someone could say that.
That what?
This party is not strong enough. I don't need this. It's a waste of my time. I need to go where I am prioritized, where I can make it to the office of the president. YPP is not going to get me there.
It's nonsensical for any human being to think that the mother that gave birth to him or her is no more capable to be his or her mother because she's not rich. It's nonsensical for any human being to think that way. So it's the same way. A party that gave you, most of them were rejected persons from their former political parties. The PDP rejected them, the APC rejected them, some of them, and they run to us. At that point, we are now, a beautiful bride.
Or a special purpose vehicle.
It's a special purpose vehicle.
What if P2B comes to you?
The party is for all Nigerians.
Because, many people have been talking about, look,
the party
this man is a great man. And like you have said, there's a difference between obedience and the Labour Party. And there are many people who might think, wait, if the obedient movement is pure youth energy, let him fly the flag of the YPP. That could be a better platform for him than the Labour Party. These conversations are going on.
Yeah,
while there are conversations saying, look, he has to try and see if you can sort things out with the People's Democratic Party. But what would happen, peradventure, if P2B said, look, I have a young people base and I want to join the young Progressive Party.
Let me tell you, by my own, even though this is my own opinion, and not the party, because one man cannot run the show of a party. So I have my other persons who are my colleagues that we meet and we discuss, brainstorm, and come up with some solutions. For me, the whole concept about what I think YPP should be preaching is that new breed. So the P2B does not fall within the categories of the new breed. For that, I'm talking about myself now. But that does not mean...
Why? Why do you say that?
No, he's not a new breed.
He's too old?
He is not a new breed of politician.
He's from the old stock.
Yes, he belongs to that demography of the old stock. And that, with all due respect to him, he's a fine gentleman, a man who actually has also paid his dues.
So who is
But we are talking about new breed.
Who is the new breed?
There are so many of them.
Give me an example.
So many.
Well, just a description. Maybe don't call names, but give me
I don't need to call names.
A description of what the new breed.
A new breed is somebody who has never been a governor. Okay? Who has never been maybe even a minister, maybe. But minister can be acceptable because those ones are appointment. But if you have once been a governor, you're no more a new breed of politician.
What's wrong with the old breed?
Well, they've not taken us to where we want to be. Is the situation of the country today, Kela Mewa? Are you saying you are satisfied with what we are seeing today in Nigeria?
No.
I'm sorry to say this, Kela, but I must say it because I bleed in my heart that today, in my early 40s, and I'm seeing Nigeria going the way it's going, and it's being led by the old breed that we're talking about. We can do something new. Let me tell you, Kela, Abuja today, even though we talk about democracy, I'm sorry to say this, I will say that this democracy will continue to propagate, to celebrate, actually has not served the purpose that we want it to serve for us. So, do your comparative analysis from where we're coming from, of the military junta, military era, and democracy we're talking about today. Can you tell me that the infrastructures that we're enjoying, most of the infrastructure we're enjoying today, were they built by this democracy, these democratic leaders? People like them, IBB, I respect him so much. I am a Democrat, but unfortunately, we do not have democratic leaders. We have autocratic leaders. If you allow me, I will tell you, there's no need for any president in a democratic setting to be answering CNC, Commander-in-Chief. That word, Commander-in-Chief, it makes him look like one emperor.
Oh, the CNC is because he's also head of the military apparatus.
You don't need all those. You have chief of army staff. You have chief of defense staff. You have chief of naval staff.
Yes, he's the boss of all of them. It has to be pointed out that he is in charge of all of them.
My dear, united in chief. If I'm a president.
Okay, not commander.
No, not commander.
Uniter in chief.
Yes. United in chief. Or uniter in chief, whatever way, but uniter in chief, or CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Governors, you call them Your Excellency. What's Excellency? You can call them the governor, or you can call the president Mr. President. So all those nomenclature, all those words we use, some of them make them feel something in them, or you call it distinguished senator, honorable member. It's unnecessary. It's not necessary. Let's focus on the business of nation building. Are we happy with the way things are going today? That we are still using, is it a shameful thing to some of them who are there leading us today, thinking that they are doing well to Nigerians? An IBB built Third Mainland Bridge. An IBB, the whole thing we are enjoying today in Abuja. IBB built them. Some of the dams were built. National Hospital were built by, is it Abacha? Gwarimpa? These were people, look, we're talking about autocracy, but these people were busy building, giving us the basic amenities that we need as a people.
The Nigerian-style democracy, which I've heard you talk about so many times. Oh, look, this model that we're using is borrowed. It doesn't really work for us. It's not representative of who we are. Describe what would be an ideal one for us.
We can even go back to the parliamentarian system during those days of...
You want parliamentarian? Like in South Africa?
Yeah. Or better still, we must not be taking ideas from some other countries. Let other countries to also take ideas from us. For example, if you allow me, I'll propose that there's no need for us to have 109 senators. That's just a waste of resources. We have 36 states, right? Let's have 36 senators representing all the states. And there's no need for us to have 360 House of Representative members. Doing what? Is it the business of lawmaking?
Representing nitty-gritty parts of our country.
Excuse me.
Representing nooks and crannies.
Excuse me. 360 House of Representative members, for me, it's just a waste of resources. We can have these 109 senators now. In every state you go, we have 3 senatorial districts, right? So these 3 senatorial districts should be converted to 3 House of Representatives federal constituencies. Then each state have 3 House of Rep members and 1 senator coming from each of the states because of equality and justice. But in this system we're practicing, you have some states, we have over 20 or 15 House of Representative members. Some are having 8 or 7. Let's go back and do the thing the way, by so doing, we have cut some costs, some cost of governance. Why should we have 360 House of Representative members? Let's have 3 in each of the states and 1 senator. After all, a governor will finish being a governor of a state and he will go to Senate to represent 1 senatorial district.
All right, well, let's move on to something else. The Tinubu administration is going to be a year in office. It's a year in office, really. Everyone is talking about it. But you see, one of the major fallouts, apart from the economic situation and the policies and everything that Nigerians have been going through, one thing that is rearing his head right now is that there's supposed to be a ministerial review. He had said that he will be checking the work of the ministers. If you're not doing well, you would have to leave. So let's together assess a few of the ministers in office. But first of all, on a general scale, how would you say his ministers have performed in the past 1 year?
If we were to go by the scorecard, and I'm being pragmatic, I don't want to be political about it. Look, when we talk about development, it's like as if we don't travel to some of this Western world and see the kind of development we're talking about. Development is beyond somebody coming to do roads, somebody coming to do boreholes. What kind of policy are they bringing that even actually, policies that make significant impacts in the lives of people?
Are you saying none so far?
There's nothing, absolutely nothing.
So back to my question, the ministers in this 1 year, can you say they've performed well or not? Are you saying no, nothing at all?
I will not be genuine in telling you this if I mention a minister and I say this minister has done well, that has done well.
What about the Minister of Interior?
Okay, maybe. I think I've seen something that the Minister of Interior is trying to. I think he's trying to introduce some kind of innovation.
Because, initially your party was very at variance with him. Do you remember?
Yeah. But later he picked up. He woke up from his slumber, and I think he's doing well. Minister of Interior is doing well.
So so things are sorted out between the YPP and the Ministry of Interior. Tell us about how this peace came about, because it was war. You were threatening the president. You said if he doesn't, at the time when Bete Edu was removed from office, you said he should be removed from office as well. You said you were going to protest if he wasn't removed from office. All of that has changed.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
After doing those findings, we find out that he was not a culprit to what Beta Edu did in office. And then we also went further to inquire what actually was he doing in immigration and some other parastatal agencies that are under him. And we found out that he was doing tremendously well. It was just a misinformation. And at that particular time, when we got to realize that, this young man truly has some energy, some passion to put some things in place, if given more time. And that was how, there was no trigger that was pulled anyway. There was no trigger that was pulled. We're just about cocking the gun.
You were about to cock the gun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about young people under the Tinubu administration, because that is your constituency.
Yes.
We've heard of all the complaints. Talk to us as someone who leads a party for young people. How do you think young people have fared in the past 1 year? We said in our intro, we have a generation right now that is looking at you and wondering what you mean when you say patriotism. A young person asked me that, Miss Kayla, we hear you talk about patriotism all the time. What do you mean by patriot? I should hold the flag and stand by my house? Does it mean I should recite the national anthem every day? In what ways do I show that I am a patriot? And why should I do that? Why should I care? No. Did the country care about me?
No, but that does not mean that if for example, that your mother who gave birth to you did not take care of you the way you wanted, does not mean you denounce her. being your mother. She's still your mother. You take care of her. If she falls sick, you rush her to the hospital because she's your mother.
We belong to the generation that thinks that way. Many young people don't.
Oh, well, that's why I said...
But for many young people, you get what you get.
No, that's why I said...
If you don't treat me well, I'm not going to treat you.
That's why I said that the onus is on us to carry out a pragmatic political literacy where we must conscientize our people, the young people especially. Let them understand the powers that they have, the country, they belong to a country. First and foremost, sometimes many people ask me, which party do you belong to? And the first answer I give to them, I tell them, I belong to a green, white, green party. And they say, what do you mean? I say, yes, green, white, green, Nigeria. If there is no Nigeria, there cannot be a YPP. So YPP is a subsidiary of that green, white, green party. So first, you must see yourself first as a Nigeria. And you must be proud to be a Nigeria. We can always settle our problem in-house. There is nowhere in the world today that you don't have some imbroglio, some things happening in the house or whatever. Nowhere. But the ability to navigate through is what is important. And I think that the young people, you don't blame them. Why? Because over and over time, they have reposed some confidence on a lot of people who have failed them. And so, and that was why you saw what happened in the last election. Obi got that support. Because a lot of people are now saying, who do we choose between how do you call it? Is it the devil and the
Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea. So a lot of people now concluded that Obi was better than the other 3 or 4 candidates. They were not even looking at these other parties, like ours. But I tell you, I'm happy that, the political consciousness is gradually, sinking into the minds of young people. It's no more business as usual. The cat eyes has opened. And when a cat eye open, there is no rat that passes in front of it. So Nigerians know those who have misled them in the past. There was one video I was watching, was it 2-3 days back? It was in Hausa language. The boy was saying, what it means is that any old man, even if it is his own old man, is not going to elect him in future elections. So you can see they're beginning to wake up from slumber.
Is that the prescription you're giving for young people in 2027? Don't vote any old people. And what is old? How old is old?
No. I'm not talking. That is not sometimes not about old, but I'm saying people who have been given opportunity before.
But we have seen many young people in government misbehave. In fact, some of the most embarrassing stories come from young people who were in government.
It doesn't. That's why you shouldn't go for those people.
No, many of them were voted in because they were young.
You shouldn't go for those people who have... Look, the beauty about democracy, again, is that there is this choice. That's freedom of choice, freedom of association, freedom of participation. So you have all the opportunity to make your choice.
I mean, as we wrap up, because we do have just a few minutes to go, what should the young person, what kind of political literacy should young people be taking into the next elections?
That you must not take anybody's money that brings, even in hunger. Can you, for once, sacrifice for your country? And the question I keep asking people is, people who are of different faiths, for example, it's either Christian or Muslim, we know these are the most popular religion, they all fast. And if you can fast for 30 days, or sometimes 40 days, or even 1 day or 2 days, why can't you starve yourself just for some hours to make the right choice? That is the sacrifice that you must do for your country. Because the business of nation building is a multi-stakeholder obligation of every citizen. So you perform your own obligation and leave the rest But by the time you mortgage your conscience, your future, to just a stepping of 5,000 naira or 10,000 or 20,000 naira, we have seen elections in this country where young people come out on television and they were just showing their, what do you call it, their PVC, that they sold their PVC for 5,000 naira. Come on. Oh, come on. That's why I said that political literacy needs to be carried out so that we must read the riot act for them, or we must conscientize and let them understand that what they are doing is not going to make anything good for their future. Because it's not going to bring food on the table in the future. A man who gives you money, why will somebody even give you money that you should vote for him? You already know that the person is not coming with good intention. I come to meet you and I give you money that you should vote for me. You already know I'm not coming with good intention. It's just all about self-aggrandizement. So the young people or the people, the Nigerians, let me say patriotic Nigerians, they need to wake up. They need to wake up. It has not been a rosy moment for us at all. Since the return of this democracy, it has not been a rosy. There's nothing we have achieved. Frankly speaking, I'm sorry to say this, I plead. Young people have to wake up, or let me say, patriotic Nigerians, they just need to wake up. Look, when we're talking about these young people, I don't have a problem with somebody within 50, 55 coming to take over leadership. It mustn't be a 30, 35 years or 40, no. But what we're saying is someone who has a burning desire for nation building, somebody that you can call a nationalist, not somebody who thinks that I am a southerner or I am a northerner, so I have to talk north first or south first. No. And that's what we are still lacking around the political architecture. We are still lacking those people who will come and see the broader picture of Nigeria. They will talk about nation building. They don't care where you come from.
I mean, we have just 3 years to the general elections, and many young people have no interest in politics. Many young people have become interested in voting people into office, but actually going into the political fray, many young people say, no, I'm not doing this. In fact, I saw someone say it's bad for her mental health.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not doing this. This is terrible. The terrain doesn't make sense. It's not favorable. It's not for normal people. In fact, people who are in there, I don't know how they do it, but I'm not interested in being one of them.
But I think
how do we? Because there is some truth in what they're saying. How do we get them to enter into the political fray and beat these odds? You've been in this for a very long time. Has your experience encouraged you to a point where you can tell other young people to join politics?
Sure. And Kela, you see, I think I've acquired some experience, for let's say 5-6 years that I've been in this party as a national chairman, founder of the party, and with other persons who co-founded the party with me. You see, at times, you just have to remain resolute with your vision and ambition. You also have to remain determined, focused with whatever you believe in. Yes, these temptations will come. People will approach you, inducements will come, but the ability to resist this inducement is one thing. I am not going to say here on national television to say or begin to name names of the kind of inducements. But for me, I was seeing that the party first and the people of Nigeria also first must be my utmost priority. You reject some of those offers and continue. And when they try to lure you to the other side, you refuse.
They try to lure you?
Have you had any time where YPP at the national endorse any presidential candidate? Good. That is the kind of character we represent.
Well, for 2027, and I think we're going to wrap up on this one, what are the plans of the YPP for 2027?
Well, we are a group of persons who believe in constant engagement, brainstorming, and we have been doing that. I will not unleash our strategy here at the moment, but I tell you, a lot is happening behind the scene. We are galvanizing. Political evolution is something that has to do with like minds coming with ideas. And we are reaching out to these like minds who are already talking to us. That, look, we think that YPP is a party that we can come in. We have had series of meetings in the past. If you one thing you must accept is that politics, there's no any end to politics. Politics is something that plays in our lives every day, even in our homes.
So engagements are ongoing.
So
now.
Engagements are going on.
Are we going to be surprised?
Sure, we will be surprised. After all, we started from one senator, one parliamentarian, and today we're having about 10, 12 parliamentarians. Speaker of the House of Assembly in Nasarawa State is a YPP product.
Okay. Well, we'll be watching and wishing you all the best. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Amakiri, for being with us on Political Paradigm today. And good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much, Kela. I really appreciate the opportunity given to me.
We have been speaking with Bishop Amakiri, the National Chairman of the Young Progressives Party. Please join the conversation on channelstv.com. Leave your thoughts and comments there, respectfully, of course. And join us as we continue to ask the accountability question until it is answered. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.